Welcome to Track Us Down. If you're just finding us, I'm Monique and I'm here with Doug behind the camera. Our channel is all about retiring early, moving abroad, but mostly living a better second half of life. And part of living a better second half of life for us is travel. So if you clicked on this video, you know that we are here in Berlin. It is our first time in Berlin. We have been to Germany before, but never Berlin. And we've heard mixed things about Berlin. Some people say that it's full of history and interesting, and other people say that they don't really care for it too much. We've walked around a little and we've gotten some groceries. We went to a German grocery store, which was a lot of fun to pick out some different things. We've booked an Airbnb here. It is a furnished apartment, a little studio apartment. It's not actually someone's house. It is a rented furnished apartment that comes with cleaning, and there's a little laundry station downstairs, and it's really cute. It's really well done. It's very convenient, and the area is okay. When we picked online, we really weren't sure of where we wanted to be in Berlin, so we're kind of not in the center, but just kind of on the outskirts a little, but the place itself is great, and at this price range, around €130 mark a night, it's a great location so far, and the apartment is really nice. It's got a little seating area, a little kitchen. So far, so good. So today we are up early, we've had breakfast, and we are heading out on a bike tour, which is a great way to get an introduction to a new city. So let's go.
Well, that was a fantastic day. We opted for the Berlin bike tour. What a great way to see Berlin. Berlin has wide open streets, big boulevards, lots of bike lanes, and everybody's biking around. I want to say there was as many bikes on the road as there were cars. We saw one bike collision. There were just bikes everywhere. You see so much when you're getting around Berlin by bike. We saw the highlights of Berlin, the Berlin Wall. We're on the bad side right now. We saw Checkpoint Charlie. We saw the Brandenburg Gate. We saw the cathedrals. We saw all the neoclassical architecture. We saw Museum Island. We saw the Jewish Holocaust Memorial. There was just one site after another. We covered so much distance. Walking was great, but biking is the way to go when you come to Berlin. One thing I noticed here biking is that I would say about 95% do not wear helmets, which is pretty interesting coming from North America. The general culture is to wear a helmet. Compared to here in Berlin, it seems that very few, if any, people wear a helmet. They all have their hair done. They're all dressed up nicely. They're biking to work. Overall, it was a great first day here in Berlin. We saw a lot of things that just kind of bring back memories from the late 80s when things were happening here in Berlin. The wall was falling, and just to see it firsthand, it was just a good closure, brought everything full circle. Of course, we've seen so much on the news growing up and with documentaries and shows about it all, but just to be here and see it all. But of course, Berlin has so much more to offer. There's museums, there's great restaurants everywhere. Of course, Berlin has its own scars, both emotional and physical. Emotionally, you see acknowledgement of the horrors from World War II with the memorials to the Jewish population. You see little gold blocks in the ground in front of many residents here in Berlin where Jewish people were taken from their homes, and it's just everywhere. It's really sombering. It's a great little memorial because it has their names and right in front of the doorstep where you recognize that people live there. Physically, you still see bullet holes and scars on the concrete buildings, on the stone, all over the city. It's really neat to see, and it just gives you a real visceral feeling of what it was like. These scars, these physical scars still remain here. Really interesting to see.
Good morning from Berlin. We are up and we're heading on a long walk. Today we won't be on bikes, we're going to do some walking. Another great way to see a city is just on foot. We're doing something fun today. Yesterday we did a lot of historic things, we did a lot of emotional things, and today we're heading to a chocolate factory. So Germany is famous for chocolate, and apparently this Rausch chocolate store is the biggest one in the whole world, according to their website. So we are going to go check out the chocolate, have some chocolate, buy some chocolate. That's our day. So join us as we head to the chocolate store.
So when you're done seeing the sights in stone all over the place, you can come here to the chocolate factory and see them all over again. All these great sights in full chocolate. This is amazing. Another day here in Berlin sightseeing. What a great way to see the city. We've said it before, but renting a bike is a way to go. We use the bike app called Call a Bike, where it's just attached to your debit card or your credit card. €9 max for the day, and it's so easy. There's virtual stations everywhere, and the bikes are super easy to rent, and what a great way to get around. And they're so easy to lock. You pause it on the app, and then you just push the red lever down, and now it's paused and locked.
And what I really like is there's bike paths everywhere. Even on the main road, there's a bike lane. So you always feel like you're safe. And so many people are biking. It's just such a bike culture. We're heading to Charlottenburg Palace right now. We're currently biking through a little park along the river. And we're going to look forward to seeing what we see at the palace. It looks beautiful.
Let's go.
So we made it to Charlottenburg Palace, and we are going to walk inside and take a tour. It was a nice, easy bike ride. Again, what a great way to see the city. Other people are doing the same thing and just leaving the bikes, and they'll be here when we get back, which is pretty great. Well, we're here at Charlottenburg Palace. We're going to go in and see the old palace, the new palace, and the orangery. There's tons of trees and little pathways and walkways. It reminds us very much of Versailles. The palace is built in the format where every room leads to the next room. And we are told that that is to impress visitors, to make it look like there's so many more rooms.
Lots of stairs going up, grand staircases, beautiful views out over the front street, out over the garden. When you walk through the different rooms, they tell the history of the German monarchy going back to the beginning. It's very complicated.
And all the names are kind of fun to say.
But it's pretty interesting as well. It just gives you a comparison to what we're used to the British monarchy. I would say for me, my favorite part is just the architecture. No matter what went on or what their monarchy was based on or their history, I just think the way they built these big old palaces and the gold gilding and just the stateliness of them, I think that's the neatest part, because you actually need a lot of technical and mathematical skills and a lot of planning and creativity, artistic ability to plan these big palaces.
And over the years, it's just interesting to see how Prussia has changed to Germany and all the history that has gone on before our time. So we've enjoyed looking at the palace.
That was a great tour of the royal grounds, and now we're off to Soviet-style Berlin, to the Berlin TV Tower.
It's Soviet style?
Yeah, it was during the Cold War. They built it.
It's totally the symbol of Berlin. You see it in photos everywhere. So I'm looking forward to climbing it.
Well, we're going to take the elevator.
Oh, good. Let's go.
Well, we made it. That was a bit longer than I thought, about half an hour, but we're here at the tower.
How many kilometers was that?
I mean, I think it was only about 10 kilometers, something like that, but it was we saw a lot of really nice sights along the way.
It takes you through that middle park called Tiergarten. It's sort of like the Central Park. It was really pretty.
What a great way to get around. But now we're going up. Well, we did it. One more tower. I'm not sure it was worth the €25 each to go up. Beautiful view
It's just like a lot of the other towers we've been at. But I don't know. We have a thing with going up into these towers.
Empire State Building, New Zealand.
The one in Auckland, yes. But Seattle Tower, CN Tower, Petronas Towers, Kuala Lumpur.
Yeah.
Shanghai Tower.
Shanghai Tower. It's always kind of the same. It's exciting going up. The view's incredible.
There's something about going up to the tallest tower in the city and just getting the view. We had to do it. Check it off the list. We did it in Berlin.
But now it's time to bike home. It's time for dinner.
Back on the bike. That was a long day, but a great day.
One of the things we like to do is take an evening sometime and just cook at the Airbnb and just unwind. And that's going to be our tonight. I think we're both tired.
Day 3, Berlin in the blocks.
So on our way biking back to our Airbnb, we crossed another part of the Berlin Wall, which is really interesting how they put up the pillars to mark where the wall is. And the wall, of course, is not just one wall. It's actually two with a no man's land in between. It is good to be home and making a quick meal and just relaxing because it's not so nice out anymore.
We just made it home.
Good morning. It's Sunday here in Berlin. It was raining and now it's sunny. And we headed out for a brunch this morning. We had pancakes, smoothie, and a nice coffee. And now we're heading to Museum Island. Museum Island is 5 museums, the most famous one being the Pergamon. But unfortunately, that one is closed until 2027. So we are going to the Nuez Museum that has Egyptian prehistoric and antiquities. The big sight to see there is the Nefertiti bust. Because it's Sunday, apparently many things are closed on Sunday. So brunch in a museum day is what's highly recommended. So that is what we're going to do.
And I thought that this is the perfect backdrop for this little talk. As we mentioned before, there is a beer drinking culture here where everybody, normal people, are just walking around with a big bottle of beer. Just not used to seeing that. But this is what it looks like, I guess, in artistic form. Can't wait for another day here in Berlin.
This is the Pergamon Museum, currently closed to 2027, but one of the most iconic museums here in Berlin. The Neues Museum is definitely huge, and there's so much to see that you honestly could spend an entire day there.
The buildings that make up the Neues Museum are historic themselves. They go back a long time and have been through a lot, most notably, again, when you see bullet marks and scars from World War II. But it's been extensively restored, repurposed, and used for a great display on every level.
There are a few different sections in the museum. They have prehistoric, Egyptian, and Roman times. The highlight of the museum is the bust of Nefertiti in the Egyptian section on the second floor. She is alone, encased in glass under a dome. You're not allowed to go up and take pictures directly. You have to stay back a little. It is incredible to see, super well preserved.
I really like the Nefertiti bust, but I really liked all the Roman history and the Germanic history. A hat of knowledge with astrological symbols on it, detailing the astrological calendar. This goes back to about 3000 BC, and it was found in a burial mound in Europe. It's pretty cool. This museum, the Neues Museum, is definitely a must when you're here in Berlin, but give it a good 4 hours. There's so much to see, and just walking around the grand halls and the grand staircases and seeing the sights through the windows of the other amazing buildings, it is such an experience. Berlin doesn't disappoint in history.
It's evening time and we're going on a kayak tour. After a long day at the Neues Museum, we're happy to be out here in nature and get a little exercise in and see some sights from the river.
Just have to do a little bit of portaging before we get to the water. Sometimes you probably have some...
Yeah, then we use all of those boats and this is not all.
Beautiful way to spend a summer evening in Berlin.
So we decided here in Berlin on the Sunday evening, we pre-booked a kayaking river tour that lasts about 3 hours for 58 euros for 2 people. In retrospect, in Berlin here, we wouldn't book a kayak tour on a canal. We would prefer to do an evening cruise along the Spree River where you cross more of the touristy areas like Museum Island and all the old buildings.
The next day, we finished our official Berlin Wall sightseeing tours by going to East Side Gallery, where we saw the longest stretch of remaining Berlin Wall with all kinds of street art from artists from around the world. That's how they chose to decorate this last remaining chunk of this historic site.
Across the street from the East Side Gallery is Uberplatz, which we thought was kind of neat that the grand stadium there where everyone who comes to perform is now called Uber. And then a quick ride on the underground, we headed to the Monkey Bar, which is in a different area of the city near the Tiergarten. It's called the Monkey Bar. It's up on the top of a hotel and it overlooks the monkey cages in the Berlin Park. So we had a drink there and took some pictures and tried to see monkeys.
The only monkeys in there were us. The wall, the war is just one part, a big part, but it's just one part. There's so much more to Berlin.
And the last part that you think about when you think about Berlin is sort of the, I don't know what you call it, the alternative nightlife kind of section of Berlin. We didn't participate in any of that. We like to be home in our Airbnb and be up for touring the next day. So we do know that there's a whole culture going on here in the evening of partying, and I don't know what else we're doing.
There's no techno for us or leather outfits. Apparently that's a thing here. A lot of punk rockers. It seems like a throwback to the 80s and the 90s.
I don't think I've seen a punk rocker until coming to Berlin in 20 years, like a guy with the big spiky hair.
Huge spiky hair, and there's so much of that around here.
It's almost like walking around in a 1980s rock video or punk rock video. In our hotel, there's a sign that says Berlin is poor but sexy, and I think that's how they kind of see themselves.
We're going up the Reichstag. This is the German parliament.
It's rainy, but there's still tons of people out here enjoying the sights. So fun fact from back in the 80s, or maybe it was the 90s, I'm not sure, when Michael Jackson dangled the baby from the hotel. It's this hotel right behind me, the Hotel Aldon. So I'm not sure why that feels like a full circle moment, but that was one of the things I always remembered, and it's kind of neat to be here in person and see it. And definitely as you move further away from Museum Island and the center of Berlin where the Brandenburg Gate is and all the touristy parts, it does get quite dirty. A lot of trash on the ground, a lot of thrown items like bicycles and couches and chairs just kind of chucked outside. So you do see some of that too. So that would bring us to, do we like or not like Berlin?
I like Berlin. It's a big city. It's neat to see the history. There's definitely lots of layers. And I think to me, that's what it's all about. Berlin has layers. It's gritty. It's worth seeing. And we've enjoyed our just over a week here.
Pre-war that survived are pretty beautiful.
Did we almost get run over?
Yeah. Thank you for spending some of your time with us today. And as always, check back in and
track us down.